We are live from the park and we are going to wait for a few minutes. My technical expert says, hey, everybody's got to watch ads before they get on, so we are waiting a couple minutes. Paperboy CEO, good morning. Well, it's morning here. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning in the park. Are we live and active? All right. So yes, I'm here with my lovely wife Amy. We went for a walk and we were talking about all kinds of crazy stuff, and we're like, hey, let's just do a live chat from the park for Q&A. I was telling her that it's interesting for me these days dealing with banking again, because you never fully understand the shadow banking system, what goes on at the Fed and all that, even though I dug into it for 10 years straight before I got into cryptos. I'm having to go through all the stuff I learned and the stuff I didn't learn, the full understanding the reverse repos and repo market, and then you can talk about derivatives all you want, but until you get down to the nitty gritty of what's going on in the derivative market, I mean, obviously it's a $2 quadrillion market or so. Nobody really knows the full size, but the derivatives are in play with these repos. And I talk about this in the Friday road trip, how the real implosion is going on with the quality of the collateral being used in these repos. Banks will not accept other banks' U.S. bonds because they've been rehypothecated with derivatives. So yeah, that's how crazy it is. So I've been diving into that and I love it. I've been having a blast in the last couple of weeks. I really haven't been watching the crypto markets. It's kind of like silver. Once you figure out it's rigged, in time it will break out of the rig. Cryptos are the same. It's rigged. In time it'll break out of the rig. And so you kind of start losing interest as other things come up. So I'm back into the banking stuff, knee deep in researching what's going on. So, and I know this is completely foreign to everybody. Not everybody, but the vast majority of YouTube has not been studying central bank repos, reverse repos, the derivative market. What does it really mean to be a derivative, especially derivatives that are not traded over the counter? What does it mean to have DTCC rehypothecating or allowing the rehypothecation of assets? Most of the time, like I was talking with Dick Allgaier, most of the time the DTCC doesn't even deal with that. They take in the asset, they put it in the name of seed and company, and as far as they're concerned, that's the only time that anybody owns that asset. A great example is a U.S. Treasury bond. Kovifi, thank you for the super chat. Wow, look at that, 2 super chats. Good morning, Paul, also. Hey, how are you guys? So today I just want to take questions. And then my lovely assistant, Amy, who refuses to come on camera right now because we just woke up, will yell out your question, any question she chooses. Amy, why don't we start with the first question? Might as well make it one of the super chats, huh?
Well, actually, no, early on. What do you say about the RVGCR?
The RVGCR, I assume it's one of the many revaluation attempts. And I don't believe any of them will work, even the ones that are fully backed by gold out of Asia, out of the Yamashita's gold. And the reason I don't think any of them will work is that it takes deciders. And when the system falls apart, we're not going to turn to the World Bank, we're not going to turn to the IMF, we're not going to turn to the Fed, we're not going to turn to the people who are in charge of the RV, GCR, any of that. I think it's all going to be thrown out the window. Every country is going to have to take care of themselves, and every citizen will have to take care of themselves about what they want to use as money. I think all countries will start printing either a crypto-backed money or their own fiat currency again. But it will come down to lack of trust in the leaders, lack of trust in the currency, and obviously cryptocurrencies, this is their time to shine, in my opinion. So that's my take, is I don't believe that any RV will work. Second question.
Banks fail. Banks borrow from feds. Feds print money out of thin air. The American people must repay the money borrowed, printed out of thin air, question mark?
No, we don't have to repay anything. As a matter of fact, in all the documentation, it says that we don't have to repay anything. When you have the ability to create money out of thin air, which was handed over to the Federal Reserve System, and they have abused it, but it's not their fault. It's Congress's fault for not taking on the challenges of running a monetary system. At any moment, the Congress can sign a law that says the Fed charter is no longer active. We've done it before, we'll do it again. And that is the plan. Ron Paul was leading that charge. There's other people leading that charge now. So yeah, the banks will keep printing money. The Fed will keep printing money until they have to come to Congress, and that's when the big decision comes at Congress. And Amy needs to speak louder, huh? Do you hear her asking the questions, or?
I don't know. Okay.
Next question.
Do you have any insight about the Monarch wallet? From what I understand, it's not hackable and on the blockchain. You're awesome, Bix. Keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you.
Super chat, Paul.
Everything is hackable.
Spinoza.
Everything is hackable as far as offshoots of a mined cryptocurrency. It might be very hard to hack, but everything is hackable. I do have a Monarch wallet. I don't really use it. I'm not sure if it's any safer than like a Loaf wallet or any of the other wallets out there. I don't know about that. It probably is if you're talking about it, and that's what they claim. But everything is hackable as far as a wallet, that's online. And mobile wallets, they're all hackable. So I'm not saying it can't. It's easy to do, and it might be 10 years until someone figures out how to hack one of these mobile wallets, or it could happen tomorrow. So nothing is, even Bitcoin theoretically, with the quantum stuff, can they do it? Yes, they can. They will be able to, at some point, to hack a crypto wallet using quantum computers. The question is, what defenses will the crypto community invent that are quantum defensible? Quantum resistant is what they're calling it. And there are already people working on it. Quantum is not a risk for the next, I would say, at least 10 years. And yes, just because you invent a quantum computer that works and is fast doesn't mean it can be applied to hacking the SHA-256 algorithm. And if, for example, Google, as they claim, or it was either Google or Amazon, as they claim, have invented a quantum computer, the first thing that would be done was the U.S. military would go in and destroy the quantum computer, basically because it would be able to hack all the codes for the nuclear bombs around the world, and no, that's not going to be allowed. So, no, I don't think it's a worry at all.
Jerry Hodges.
Louder.
Jerry Hodges says, not an XRP fanboy. I own very little, but any chance they plan to endorse XRP and the value soars in the dollars devalues, fixing the debt? Isn't that the same as printing money?
It would be the same as printing money, and no, that's the ridiculous thought even. Remember, all trust is going to be lost when the derivative bubble goes, and that's what needs to go away. So XRP people if the banking system stays together and everybody wants to keep this unbacked fiat system after they lose their money in the banks, XRP is not the solution, because that's the banker's solution. It should be very clear to XRP people, and Ripple has a huge centralized trove of coins that are being sold right now. XRP, I think, will go to zero when the banks crash, and I think that will be within the next 6 months to a year. So I'm not a fan of XRP at all. And even XRP people admit, without the banks in business, there's no use case for XRP. Sorry, XRP. And they're very vocal. And there's bots, and there's all kinds of mean people. And we delete, if you're being XRP mean, we're going to delete you forever. Just FYI.
Biggs, please comment on energy with an I. ENERGI.
I don't know anything about it. Is that a crypto? Keep going. Next question.
If they price gold, silver in XRP and have a redeemable place to bring your gold or XRP for exchange.
Yeah, why don't you keep it at the Ripple Corporation? The XRP people don't understand that nobody trusts XRP. Nobody trusts Ripple because they're interlinked, and they will always be interlinked. Why do you think Charlie sold all his Litecoin? So there's no interlinking. XRP is centralized. No matter how much they hate that, they are forever linked to Ripple. And Ripple is criminal bankers, and the only use case for XRP in my mind is to fix the banking problem. We don't want to fix the banking problem. We want the banks to go away and start a new system separate from the banks. So there.
Okay.
That's our last XRP question we're taking for the day. Sorry, XRP guys.
How do you think PMs will go this next week?
I'm a hodler of precious metals. I'm not a short-term prognosticator. I would like to say this, and this is for all you crypto people and all you gold and silver people, all you oil people, all you stock market people. The control of the price of any commodity, any stock, any bond, anything traded on an exchange is controlled 100% via computer programs and derivatives headed out of mainly the Exchange Stabilization Fund that has unlimited derivative funds to deal with. So wherever they want the price to go is where it goes. You need to remember, 100% every trade is controlled. If they want the price of precious metals to go to zero, they click a mouse. They want the price of precious metals to go, want silver to go to $1 million per ounce, they'll click a mouse. Same with cryptocurrencies. It's a click of a mouse to destroy price. That's what we're leading. Hopefully, after the crash, we're going to get away from that, institute something like Veritasium, which requires peer-to-peer transactions with capital assets. You can't lie, cheat, and steal because it's all on the blockchain type of thing. Now, will we get there? Yes, I believe we will. So I don't look at prices of precious metals. I don't look at prices of cryptos. I will look at it and give a glance and say, oh, here we are. But in the back of your mind, you got to remember, no matter what the reason is, they say the price went up, down, or sideways, it's all controlled out of the Exchange Stabilization Fund using computers and derivatives, and has been since the early 70s. Thank you, Amy. Thank you for the question. She looks so cute right now. I don't know why she wanted to be on camera. See some Oakland. She's in her Oakland gear.
Are any email service providers that provide blockchain technology type security?
Say it again.
Louder. They can hear me.
Can you hear?
Are
Okay.
any email service providers that provide blockchain technology type security?
I don't know. I'm not an expert on that, but remember, blockchain is just a dumb database. It's a slow, dumb database. All it is a secure database. It's just a dumb, slow database. And it's really long, and it gets slower the longer it is. So, it would be, if it's on-chain, you can't lie, cheat, and steal with on-chain. So you might be able to apply some kind of email function to that, but I don't know. That it would be a cool thing to have, emails that can't be read by the NSA, but kind of hard to do that. And I'm sure there's companies trying to do that. I think it's important, but you can't get away from the NSA right now. Anything they're doing. They're watching us right now. Hi, NSA, NISA. They watch in the shower if you have a radio in your shower.
Oh my God.
Moving on.
Any updates on the latest in the repo market?
Yes, there is an update on the road to Ruta from the Friday road trip. So check it out. It will go on Patreon next week. I would say, not to give too much away, but yeah, there will be updates every day, and it's going to get worse and worse as we go into October. I do talk about a specific date that's very important in October. So that's all I got, but there's plenty of updates on the private road at the road to Ruta. Next.
Will Brexit cause mass panic in the UK on Halloween?
Brexit? Yeah, well, of course, if Brexit gets implemented, the banking system in Europe goes, the banks are extremely weak right now. But I don't think that'll be the catalyst. I don't see the UK, the City of London people allowing Brexit to happen. They would take out Boris Johnson before they allowed anything like that to happen. And so I don't think it'll be the cause. but it might happen as we're going along during the crash. The cause will be more likely a derivative meltdown of some certain bank that has rehypothecated its bonds and used them as collateral for repos. Hint, hint, hint. Okay, Amy, what is the next question?
Shoot, I lost my place.
I saw a super chat somewhere.
A super chat. Bix,
thank you.
Thanks for all
well,
you do.
Who did the super chat come from? We got to call them out.
Oh, the Tasman63.
Tasman63. Thank you for the super chat.
Yes. Okay, it's getting kind of crazy in here now. Next question.
What's the question? Did he have a question?
No, he just said thanks.
Tasman.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
I agree with the dark light. Smash the like. Please like. Make sure to like.
Amy has a public service announcement. Come on in.
Hey, come on.
Public service announcement.
All right. Just make sure you like the video. And if you're watching this on your phone, in order to like the video, you're going to have to get out of the chat room and then press the thumbs up button and then go back into the chat room. That's how you do it on your phone.
On your phone.
I had to explain that the other day to somebody.
Okay. So. But on your computer, laptop, or something, you can do it at the same time. Right?
Yeah.
Aw. Crypto Nana's on the line.
I know. And so is Chris Card. Say hi to Chris Card.
Hi, Chris Card. What up?
Let's see. Gotta kind of like go ahead here. I think there's another super chat. I don't know. I'm like really behind. Okay, $2. Theta, please explain. I'm interested. Super chat from Paul Espinosa.
Paul Espinosa, thank you. Theta, well, like any cryptocurrency, anything you invest in, don't just say, please explain. You're going to have to do a lot of research yourself. But the idea behind Theta is to take over broad streaming and YouTube type stuff all around the world by having nodes all around the world to share bandwidth. So there'll be, the idea is to get as many people as possible running nodes, mining Theta fuel, and giving up some of their hard drive to add to the capacity of the bandwidth all around the world. It's an amazing idea, an amazing concept. It's very complicated doing it. It's taken them a long time. One of the greatest things about Theta is they never did their ICO. They almost did it. It was ready to go, and they're like, we're kind of afraid the SEC might clamp down on this, so we're not going to go ICO. So they have no problem with the SEC, and they raised their own money. One of the biggest participants is Samsung. So if you think Samsung phones have a future, and Samsung has been saying for the last year that they're looking for a blockchain, not an internal blockchain, but a blockchain to run all their business off of, I think it will be Theta. And Michelle White Dove, the best psychic in the world, she won a contest, who I have talked to quite a few times. That was her big pick a while ago, and it still is, that Theta will go into the thousands. And right now it's trading at like 10 cents. It's very hard to get. It's hard to find the right exchanges to pick it up at. But yeah, I like Theta. So, but don't invest in it because I said that. Do your own homework. Go on YouTube, go to the Theta, I think theta.org website, and check it out. And then you can even run your own node and mine Theta fuel if you want. And yeah, that's my answer.
All right. We're going to back up here a little bit. Do you have any tickets left for your party?
We do have tickets left for the party. Send me an email, bix@roadtoruda.com, and in the subject line put Vegas. It is October 27th. We're up to, I think, 330 or so people. I don't know. We have this huge room that we're trying to figure out, can we have two separate parts, because we got speeches and music and all that stuff, and then we got the bar and the socializing, shall we say. All the Litecoin people are very social. So we're figuring that out, but yes, we're still selling tickets. So send me an email. It costs 1 Litecoin, no refunds, whatever the Litecoin price is. Right now it's cheap. It's 50 something bucks. It could be $1,000 to get in the door by the time hopefully by the time the event goes off. So there you go.
Okay. What park are we in?
What park are we in? We're in Montclair Park,
Yeah.
Sitting at the benches. And there's a little pond I think it's called Montclair Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's with the little, there's a little
preschool.
western town for kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's right by the
it's
water.
nice.
The
A lot of geese shitting around.
Yeah, it is. How much silver, gold, and crypto in ratio?
Clint Westwood's in town.
Clint Westwood.
You guys better be careful. Clint's in town. What was that?
How much silver, gold, and crypto in ratio should one hold?
First of all, everybody needs to make their own decisions on that one. And with cryptos so volatile, that ratio changes all the time. My recommendation is not, if you're choosing between gold and silver, very little gold and a hell of a lot of silver, mainly because there's about equal amounts of gold and silver in the world, about 6 billion ounces. Silver is absolutely necessary in society for society to run, and there's a hell of a lot more gold than what they're telling you. The ratio is at 85 to 1 right now, which is historical highs, so absolutely more silver. Cryptos to silver, cryptos to precious metals, I'd say I'd start out, if you're just starting out, start out at 50-50. And then obviously with the volatility of both of them at some point, it's going to change. You can make readjustments as you wish. That's my expert advice.
All right.
This is not investing advice. I mean,
it's not financial advice.
Yes. Read the disclaimer.
Sven wants to know, do you see a massive overnight spike in PM prices?
Do I see a massive overnight spike? Well, a massive spike in precious metals versus a massive spike in cryptos are very different things. A massive spike in precious metals is like 5%. In cryptos, it'd be like 20-25%. Do I see that? No. It can happen, obviously, but remember, the prices are rigged. So if they want it to happen, it will happen. If they don't want it to happen, it won't happen. It's not a freely traded market. None of these markets are freely traded. So, and if it did, if there was a spike, if the price of silver doubled overnight, about 3 or 4 of the too big to fail banks would fail that day. So then everything fails. So that's why they control it.
What will peak first in your mind, cryptos or silver, and why?
I don't think, well, what will peak first? Well, in the past, it would have been silver, obviously, because cryptos were just starting out. They can allow cryptos to run, some cryptos to run as far as they want to get interest in cryptos. So probably cryptos, but they're still being, I wouldn't say peak, I would say go up first. Go up the most first. They'll allow cryptos to go up before they allow the silver price to be unrigged. Because the unrigging of silver is the end game. And cryptos, they want cryptos more solidly in place before the system falls apart. So I think cryptos any day now could have a really good run.
We got a super chat. Thank you from Mad Gal Design Company.
Woohoo!
She says, any awesome lineup for your big party in Vegas? When will we know?
Good question. I don't know the lineup yet. I've talked to a bunch of people. I'll be speaking. We have John Kim and Litecoin Lisa are going to be talking about building community. We got Bitcoin Ben's going to talk. We got Jason If 4 is going to talk. Hopefully Will there will talk about perpetual asset solution. And we got some guest speakers. We're figuring out the schedule. We want to do a lot of the meet and greet stuff. There'll be a lot of people there from the Litecoin Foundation. John Kim and Charlie Lee, I assume at some point will be there. John said he'll get him there by hook or by crook. I don't know what time Charlie will show up, like he showed up last time. And of course, we're going to have the band is going to get together, Dick Allgaier. And I want the crypto viewing guys to talk. But I haven't really set up the format for that yet.
Okay.
It's on my to-do list, though.
Any thoughts on Stellar?
I own like a tiny bit of Stellar. Stellar was one of the banking solutions that might be implemented, so I don't know enough about it, but it's not in my top 10. Those are my thoughts.
Okay.
But I don't think it's bad. I think it'll do well.
Okay. Thanks for the super chat, brother David. $1.99.
Thank you, brother David.
Yay.
What up?
Bix, I'd rather be the guy. Okay.
My moderator is like
Bix,
overwhelmed at the moment.
I know. I'd rather be the guy in the food queue with the gold and not crypto. If things are going to be as bad as you say, there will be no electricity for the machines to operate.
Yeah, no one would take gold either. Well, no, things are bad as I say. I say the monetary system falls apart and we implement something new. I don't think we're having a Mad Max world. But yeah, the electricity goes out. We're all dead. I think the latest scientific study has been 30 days before 90% of the population dies, for obvious reasons. And then the next 90% of that dies in 90 days. Yeah, we cannot survive without electricity. Everything runs off it. All the nuclear power plants would melt down. I mean, the obvious stuff. But gold wouldn't be accepted either. You got to remember that gold is not money anymore and hasn't been money really since 1933. And then they had a pseudo money until 1971. Very few people alive today have any connection between gold and money. Mark Dice walks around and offers people, or silver and money, offers people a candy bar or a bar of silver, and they always take the candy bar. So that has been driven out of consciousness for humanity. Gold will never be money used as money ever again, nor will silver. So silver is different. It's not enough, and we need it for other things. It's too valuable to use as money. For gold, it's just over. Everybody's forgotten about it except the central bankers who are like 90 years old and still they don't even cling to it anymore. So it had a good run, a couple thousand years as money, but like everything else, something better comes along, and that's cryptos.
Humantu wants to know about quant. What do you think about quant?
Quant, a cryptocurrency, I don't know much about it.
Okay.
I believe it's a crypto, unless you're talking about quantum computing, which I talked about a few minutes ago.
Thanks for all the love, everybody. Everyone's just like,
Amy says, thanks for the love. Thank you guys. I've just started with moderators over the past few months. When I did live, I'm like, okay, I'll have moderators. Usually I just and for a while I shut off the comments.
Yeah.
And then I just, people were complaining, so I just said, okay, you guys fight it out in there, have a day, which is fine. But it distorts the message at times. So this whole moderator thing, I'm loving it. I don't have to do anything. You guys can boot anybody you want.
Julio Yu says, will CZ be super duper rich if cryptos go where we want them to go?
Yes, absolutely. So, some of the OGs in cryptos, that's part of the problem. There's a lot of centralization in cryptocurrencies, but that's also part of the natural evolution. They'll go spend money on yachts and stuff, and that money, the crypto money, will flow through the society. And there'll be a hell of a lot of mega rich. It will just be different people. It won't be the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers, and it'll be more open, I believe. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Matthew, Bix, have you heard about GlintPay, UK, going into administration?
No, I haven't. I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
It sounds like I don't know. I don't know what it is.
How slow is Mercatox exchange?
Mercatox doesn't have the cryptos. You're probably talking about pulling Very off of there. If you go in to try to buy Very at Mercatox, it's not slow as far as buying and selling, and it's very volatile. It's very thinly traded, but they don't have like most of the crypto exchanges. They don't have the coins, but they have always gotten when I bought Veritasium off there. They've always gotten it, but it takes about so far. One time it took like a week. So I put in my withdrawal, and it's not to trade it. They'll put it in your account, but when you pull it off, they'll say, oh, it's down for maintenance. Down for maintenance means one thing. They don't have the coins. They got to go find them, and that's fine as long as I get them. And Mercatox has never failed me on that. But then again, they will. I know that they will, just like all the crypto exchanges will fail at some point when the banks fail. So yes, it is very risky to have anything on there, especially Veritasium. Like every time I try to pull Veritasium on, it goes down for maintenance. But usually it's within 24 hours that they get it to you. And definitely send them an email to support and say, what's going on here? I'm trying to get my Veritasium off. If you don't do that, it'll probably take a week or two.
Brad asks, how do you think crypto market and values will be affected by platform interoperable?
Interoperable?
Operable?
Interoperable. I think
Tongue
they
twister.
already are interoperable. The trading platforms. Are you talking about decentralized currency? I'm not very clear on the. Like right now, they steal each other's data, and it's crazy. Snippy did a good expose on that when he was trying to set up an exchange for someone. They're like, I got $100 million worth of cryptos. I want to set up an exchange. And he did all his research. He says, you don't need any cryptos to set up an exchange. All you got to run is the API from this exchange through yours and all this stuff. So I think that's, or you're talking potentially about interoperability between like atomic swaps and stuff like that, which is going to be awesome. Like Bitcoin, you pay in Bitcoin, get your change in Litecoin, stuff like that. That's my take.
All right. Duan wants to know, where is Blythe Masters?
Blythe is hopefully in Guantanamo or on Kinley's Island having a lifetime vacation. But I don't know where Blythe is. That is coming to a head. The 3 senior traders at JPMorgan are being charged with Repo, supposedly, and they're saying there is more. The DOJ definitely said there are more within JPMorgan and more within. They didn't say JPMorgan at all. Any of the announcements, they never say the name. There's problems with that, being it's the largest bank in the world, and the most criminal, and the one that has claimed it's the largest holder of silver still in the SLV, in physical, and in they're the largest trader on the COMEX. They don't hold the Big Short anymore, I don't think. I think that's Citibank and Deutsche Bank. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't know where Blythe is. She hasn't been heard from since she walked out of her abruptly walked out of her crypto DTCC company called Digital Assets back in December. And that's when I was jumping up and down and said, it's happening. It's taken a while, but obviously throughout this year, it's been exposed, and JPMorgan is is going to go down with the silver moonshot.
Jose Diaz, do you think Digibyte will be big, and how high will it go in your opinion?
I like Digibyte. Digibyte's one of those cryptocurrencies, like, I like the concept. It can't scale high enough and fast enough if the banking system falls down quickly. So it'll be fine. It'll be one of the choices that people use. The way they determine, if I recall, I haven't studied in a while, the inflation rate and the scalability of it. I like it, but it's not going to ever be like in the top 3 as far as means of exchange. But I like it. It's going to be one of the choices, and I hear from Cliff's data they're going to partner up with someone that's going to be really good for Digibyte in the future.
Do you have? Does Fork Delta have Veri?
Fork Delta does have Veri, yes. Fork Delta is really difficult to deal with because it's kind of like an decentralized exchange. Not really, but they do on-chain transactions that are, it just takes forever. When Fork Delta gets busy, you'll put your trade in, it just won't happen. But hey, it's one of the only places to get Veri besides Mercatox that you can trust getting it off. If you can get it, if your order is executed on Fork Delta, then you can usually pull it off no problem. But that's the question. And you got to check out price also. Look at the price at Mercatox versus Fork Delta, and sometimes there's like a 20% difference, and it's crazy.
Does QE4 bring hyperinflation?
No, hyperinflation is controlled not by the money supply. Obviously, let's look at Catherine Austin Fitts. They've printed another $30 trillion. It's not determined by the money supply. Hyperinflation is determined by a click of a mouse at the Fed. They can control the price of gold, silver, oil, commodities, grains, foods, anything that goes into making a product, which theoretically the money should flow into that, but it doesn't because they rig the price with derivatives. So QE4 will not increase the inflation rate. The inflation rate is rigged also both by how it's recorded at the what's it called? Where the U.S. does determines the inflation rate. They change the metrics all the time and they lie. It's like the employment rate. They lie about that too. I don't think it might be the OCC, the Office of Comptroller of Currency, or the BIS. No, the BIS is Bureau of International Settlement. I forgot where they determine the CPI and the inflation rate. But even if hyperinflation hit, no one would talk about it because they wouldn't allow the media to talk about it. And the reasons why. Go ahead. Next.
Okay.
In my opinion, this is all, by the way,
These are-
this is all my opinion, FYI.
I went to trade my ounce of gold for silver, and they only wanted to give me 77. Is that normal?
Yeah, absolutely normal. And remember that, like a silver dealer, they're not going to give you spot price. They have to make money too. You go to a couple different dealers, make sure they're being fair to you by talking to a couple dealers in town. Say, hey, this guy's giving me, and the price fluctuates daily also between gold and silver. So, but they make a margin on what they sell and what they buy, and if it doesn't work for you, go on to the next one, or don't do it. So yeah, it's very. I mean, at times when the premiums are high, like they're running out of silver, you're going to see 20% premiums on buying silver compared to the spot price. But that's the other thing you got to remember. Spot price is determined by computers and derivatives, not the physical market. Next question, please.
Any news in regards to Reggie Middleton and SEC?
No news other than sign the petition. Almost at 2,000 signatures now, and then send that petition to all the SEC lawyers that are looking, trying to shake down Reggie. The next court decision, or they haven't set a court date yet, but the next decision, I think it's October 28th or something like that, that the next meeting is with the judge to set either a court date or something else. Hopefully they'll come to some resolution outside of the court. Not because I don't think Reggie has the strongest case that could possibly be, but I think that the courts are absolutely 100% corrupt. So I'd rather it not go to court, if you ask me. That's kind of where we are.
All right. Are you a bigger fan of silver mining stocks or physical silver? Which will have bigger gains in your opinion?
Silver mining stocks are more valuable than physical silver, but all silver mining stocks will be nationalized, so you'll lose everything in silver mining stocks. That's basically the problem with the value of silver in the ground, is that when the banking system falls apart, every country, including the United States, and it's in the Road to Ruta documents, will nationalize all their precious metals in the ground. There's no doubt in my mind, and if you own a silver mining company, the other problem with mining stocks is they're rehypothecated as well. So every share that you own, you got this, even if you have the physical certificate, there's 4 or 5 other people who own that exact same share. So yeah, I'm not a fan of, I know the value in the ground of silver mining stocks, but you'll never get that money in a crisis scenario. So the answer is physical.
How high do you think silver will go?
Before the monetary system crashes, if it was freely traded, Cliff's data has it at $600 almost instantly when the manipulation ends. But again, $600 silver would destroy many of the large too big to fail banks. So yeah, it's like, I think that we'll hit a time when you don't know the price of silver, you don't know the price of gold, and you don't know the price of cryptos in the transition. And it won't be, and then after the transition, it won't be even priced in US dollars. It'll be priced in something else. Or at least, sorry, not US dollars. It won't be priced in Federal Reserve notes. We will have a US dollar after this crash of the banks, but it won't be a Federal Reserve note. Okay.
Are we going to be live streaming our Vegas party?
I heard a lot of people are live streaming the Vegas part.
Okay.
We do have an official photographer. I don't think we're going to live stream, but I know a lot of the YouTube people are going to be live streaming. And if you're coming to the party and you feel like live streaming it, go for it.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah, everybody can live stream. We're going to have a lot of live interviews from your favorite YouTube people. just walking around. And
Yeah.
there's so many people to talk to, and you YouTube people, you're gonna get a zillion hits, hopefully,
Yeah.
because that's the party of the century.
Totally.
Especially because Litecoin will be $1,000 a coin by then.
What about buying gold and silver from dealers from TV commercials?
Go for it. But yeah, absolutely. If you get the best deal and you trust who you're buying from, that's all you got to do. But I would say to anybody, before you buy anything silver related, shop it around. It's very easy to call 3 or 4 people and say, here's what he's offering me. You want to beat it? And what's your offer? And then pick the best one, but make sure you trust them. Miles Franklin, I trust very much. Will Lair, Perpetual Assets, I trust very much. If you want, I think they have a minimum of like 10 grand in precious metals. So you gotta trust the people. If you're just starting out in silver, go to your local coin shops. Go to 2 or 3, get to know the people, and then use them against each other to say, okay, Joe down the street saying he's going to give me this silver ounce for $18.50. Will you give me the same thing for $18.45? And if you will, I'll do the deal right now. Stuff like that. But never just take one person's opinion and say, okay, I'll buy it. Always shop around.
Definitely. Who has more control over metals markets? Banker, traders, or the government? Metals market.
The Exchange Stabilization Fund has full control by law. The law came out in 1933, or 34. By law, they can intervene in any market they choose, especially gold and silver. And so the Exchange Stabilization Fund, which is part of the U.S. government, guided by the Treasury and the head of the Fed, and the head of the SEC, and the head of the CFTC. That's the Working Group on Financial Markets. Along with the president, they control what the Exchange Stabilization Fund does. The Exchange Stabilization Fund has a hell of a lot of money, but they don't use money, they use derivatives. So they have 100% control over the price.
Okay. Central banks are buying gold, silver, but due to potential upcoming audit discovering illegal activity, can't gold, silver be confiscated and end the control of central banks?
First of all, central banks are not buying silver. Some are buying gold. There's massive amounts of gold in the world. And, wait, read that again, because there were some things in there.
Central banks are buying...
Oh, confiscation.
Yeah, confiscation.
So
can be confiscated.
So they would be confiscating from themselves, right? A central bank could be confiscated by the U.S. government. Confiscation for individuals will never, ever happen again. It really didn't happen in 1933. Not many people turned in their gold at all. If you look back, mainly that was a confiscation of the banker gold. But if the reason it will never happen, one, it would do no good. Nobody has any gold and silver other than a tiny bit of the population. So it doesn't matter. And gold is not going to be part of the new monetary system. It might be a reserve asset of the Treasury. We have 8,000 tons, which is a tiny amount of gold. Would we open up the Grand Canyon and pull out the billions of ounces of gold? No, I don't think we would. There's no reason. We don't need gold anymore. Gold had its day, and it is done. There's a better form of gold, and that is Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies with defined scarcity. So, no, they would never confiscate gold because they'd be confiscating it from themselves, and nobody has any gold. And it would put a huge spotlight on gold, and they don't want that either. So that's my take.
Andrew Campbell wants to know if you're familiar with the red coin.
Snippy loves red coin.
So do you like it?
Snippy loves red coin. I haven't done much work on red coin, but Snippy loves it, and I don't own any. I would say it's one of the coins that should do fine. But I can give you 50 coins that should do fine. Right now, as we make this transition, you want to be in the coins that are still going to be around. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. And then if you want to get more risky, obviously Veritasium is either all or nothing. It's either going to zero or it's going to $10,000 a coin based on the implementation of that software. It is a software. And the result of the SEC's attack. But I'd stick to, during the transition, you want You want the solid cryptos. You want Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ethereum. But then you go down the chain, yeah, it's great to hold others. Make sure that, one, if they ICO, they're not going to get dinged by the SEC. Two, that they did what they said they were going to do. If they said they're going to build this platform, did they do it? Have they had a full year or 2 years to do it? And did they follow through with the promises? Make sure you know the people behind it. Those should do well.
Do you think they will suppress the price of silver because it's so highly used industrially?
Well, they have been for 150 years. So there's two reasons to suppress the price of silver. One is the industrial use. All the industrial producers, mainly Dow Chemical, all the people on the Silver Users Association. There's an association, believe it or not, called the Silver Users Association that suppresses the price of silver along with the governments. And number two, the monetary aspect. So there's two reasons to suppress the price of silver. And no, I don't think the future, after we have the derivative meltdown, I don't think the future will allow any type of manipulation of markets anymore. And they have to have derivatives to do that. And that's the main reason. When derivatives are gone, you can't rig the markets. You can't have high frequency trading. You can't do all that shit.
All right. If silver goes to, let's say, $600, how will you be able to sell it? How could coin stores be able to keep up with people wanting to sell?
Well, the price just keeps going up. You know, it's a free market. Free market's an amazing thing. You know, you sell it to somebody who wants it. It went to $600 for a reason. Yeah, people do have $600. They buy and sell gold ounces at gold and silver shops every day, and those are $1,500 right now. And they'll sell. I mean, I've walked in and out of silver and gold shops with a hell of a lot of money, cash in hand, either buying or selling. So it's a different world in the coin shop world. They have no problem, handling $20,000 cash purchases or sales, and they're all armed. If you walk into a silver store or a gold store, they're packing, and you can see their guns. Most likely, they're on their hip. And take a look, because they could be the new banks of the future.
All right. After the financial collapse, if he's still in power, does Trump try to implement a system similar to a gold standard?
Trump won't have any power after the crash, because there'll be no deciders. It can't be a decider. There will be many attempts to implement a new system. Probably the U.S. will just print treasury notes willy-nilly and say it has gold backing. That won't work, because people will try to cash in their gold. I do believe the U.S. has massive amounts of gold. If it wasn't for cryptos, yes, we would have gone back to a gold standard. The Road to Ruta documents all show, like the Banking Basics pamphlet that they put out shows a little girl walking into a bank with a stack of cash, and they're giving her 19 gold coins. A little girl. So yes, the plan was to go onto a gold physical standard as opposed to like a gold back system. No gold backing system would work unless it's redeemable after the crash, because all faith and confidence in our leaders will be gone. And already in the United States, half the population doesn't trust Trump just because of the way things have been situated. So Trump won't be the decider. There can't be any deciders, unfortunately.
Some of these questions are...
We don't have to. Actually, we gotta finish soon. And let's keep it under an hour. No more silver. We've already talked about that.
Are you going to come out with a crypto song album? Kind of already have one.
We have one. We have. I got album as in put together and voila, here's an album. I would love to. I have 10 songs, crypto related songs that are on the music box. You guys have a music box. We sell them at our Freedom Road shows. We'll have a whole bunch in Vegas. Mm-hmm. That has actually 70 songs, 70 original songs on it, and 13 videos on it. So we will be selling that. And we have a special gift for everybody who comes into the Vegas show, which I can't reveal yet, right? Our entry gift?
No, not yet.
I can't say anything. It's music related though. So yeah, the songwriting thing is I have like 5 songs I'm working on right now. 5 new freedom, crypto, gold, silver songs I'm working on right now, and every once in a while I'll flood into that, write 5 or 6 songs, and then I'll go out and play them, and I that's my favorite time, and I'm excited about these new songs too.
Cool. All right, Brad asked a good question. What do you think of crypto-backed silver like the Load project, which monetizes silver with its AGX token?
I like the guys at Load. I've known them for like long before cryptos. I like the idea. The problem with Load is you don't need Load. Maybe the industry does, but I wouldn't buy it. It doesn't give value to a cryptocurrency to back it. As a matter of fact, it subtracts value because you add a third party. You have third party risk. The majority of the value in cryptos is there's no third party risk. Not all cryptos, but the good ones. And that adds absolutely third party risk because someone's got to store that silver. And in a banking crash, who's going to be the first one to walk away from the vault with the silver is the guards of the vault. So absolutely, it adds cryptos that are backed by precious metals, it adds risk. And precious metals won't be used as money again either. It just never will happen. Now for the industry, miners, and like real, not crypto miners, but silver miners, gold miners, and as they go through the process of refining their metal and either getting it to an industrial use or somebody who wants to save it, yeah, I can see an application for a backed cryptocurrency backed by a precious metal in order for them to just get rid of the middleman. So there is value there, but not, the silver and gold gives no extra value to the cryptocurrency. As a matter of fact, it subtracts value from a cryptocurrency.
What do you think about Bitcoin Cash split, Roger or SV?
SV is a joke, ridiculous, and that's being proven out in the price. Craig Wright, he's kind of crazy, and he's got himself in a little pickle now. He'll be going to jail for a very long time. He owes a hell of a lot of money because he has a big mouth. And the judge saw right through it. No, he is not Satoshi. The question is, where did he get some of his information? Was he involved with Satoshi at all? Potentially on the side. But no, his claims to be Satoshi are obviously false, and his big mouth has gotten him into a lot of trouble, and he owes billions and billions of dollars now.
How long will the debt unwinding reset take? Weeks, months, years?
I don't think there'll be any debt unwinding. You can't unwind $2 quadrillion worth of debt. So there won't be an unwind. It's got to be a collapse. It'll take days. Once it goes, it goes. And it almost happened September 11th, 2008. Senator Kanjorski said within 24 hours the entire system would have stopped. I think we're going to hit that this year. So it won't be an unwind. It'll be a collapse and a restart, in my opinion.
Do you have a bug out plan when the shit hits the fan?
Shit hits the fan. Yeah, we got a couple bug out plans. My first plan is to stay, but if it gets too ugly, we got a couple plans depending on which way the wind is blowing. I wish I had got my RV and we could just go mobile, but I was gonna get it. I was gonna pull the trigger on the RV at the end of 2007. But hey, it's all right. It made me work harder for 2 more years. That is, if you guys don't know, my guilty pleasure when cryptos go crazy is to buy a really cool, tricked out 4-wheel drive RV, and that's my big plan if the cryptos go crazy, or silver goes crazy, either one.
What do you think about the Divi coin?
Ben loves the Divi coin. I don't dislike it. It's extremely centralized. It is a pre-mined coin. It's everything that as far as cryptocurrency goes, I'm just not a fan of that type of cryptocurrency. Any centralization is not good. But at the same time, the guys seem all right. Ben likes it, and I think there'll be people getting into it. And I like the idea that you can mine it on your phone, type of things. But the thing you got to think about is, they're giving away a lot of divvy, but why are they giving away divvy? And who owns all the divvy right now? And if divvy, I'm not a big fan of a coin that is the majority is owned by the original creators. Charlie was very adamant and outspoken about when he created Litecoin to make sure that it was fairly mined, and I don't think divvy was in the beginning. So I'm not going to invest in it. I'm not going to recommend it, but I'm not going to say anything bad about it either, because the guys seem all right, and Ben likes it, and that's my take.
Good. Are you familiar with the gold-backed crypto KBC?
I've heard about it. There's a few gold and silver-backed cryptos, but we talked about that earlier.
Okay.
Last question.
Oh crap! Yeah.
Amy.
Is divvy centralized? Oh no, divvy is centralized. Okay, that was crypto.
Yeah, divvy is centralized.
Yeah. Have you studied inflation's effect over time now?
Well, that's a good question, and it's part of the reason I got into gold and silver and commodities. I saw them printing massive amounts of money, both above board and below board, and I said, "Oh my God, inflation's going to kick in," and it obviously has not. And the reason it has not is they lie. John Williams' shadow stats has proven that many times over. They lie. They rig markets so that inflation doesn't kick in, and then if it does kick in, they just lie about it. Everybody knows it shouldn't cost $5 to buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks. It should be 10 cents, like it was in the 20s and 30s. Actually, I think it was a penny back before the Fed was created. That is inflation. That is not normal. That is artificial printing of money. So yes, the effects of inflation are brutal. Read Alan Greenspan's paper on gold, The Shabby Secret of Gold, or The Shabby Secret of, The Shabby Secret of the Central Bankers, or something like that. Gold and Economic Freedom, the paper is called, and you will learn about the shabby secret of the central bankers, that inflation is a confiscation of wealth. So, and when they lie about it, it's 50 times worse. So, are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. Amy says we're good. We do have to get back. I have bagels for my son, who's probably still sleeping. You guys, thank you for jumping on. Holy crap, there's like 500 people on here.
Yeah.
We were worried that we would get only a couple people. Thanks for hanging out with us in the park. We're going to get back on the road. Clint, love you too, baby. Amy, I want to thank you. Here's Amy saying bye. Thank Amy for doing her moderating of the questions. You guys have a good weekend. I'll probably check in tomorrow. There's a lot going on pre-open on Monday for all you people watching the Repo accounts. Big swear, I'll talk to you later.